I am just Yossi Leshem, who's probably one of Israel's most famous birders, just writing in the chat. So hi, Yossi. Hi, everyone. We're ready to start. My name is Lawrence Casimir. I am here very proud to be part of the philanthropy team here at the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel, or in Hebrew, Chevra Lahagnat Hateva. SBNI, as we are known as for short, is Israel's oldest and largest environmental NGO, not-for-profit, charity, choose your term of choice. We are independent of the government. We are not the JNF, and we're not the Nature and Parks Authority. We have over 30,000 members who join us, who support our work to protect Israel's nature, biodiversity, and biblical landscapes. We do this not just for us, but for the people who are going to come after us, for our children and hopefully our grandchildren. Our website, if you'd like to stay in touch with us and learn more about our work, is www.natureisrael.org. That's natureisrael.org. And today, I am really, really excited to welcome you to our live birding adventure from Israel. We've been doing webinars since the beginning of COVID in last April. This is the first time we've done something so ambitious with birding in English from probably four different places in Israel. And I'm really, really excited to be sharing this with you. Today's webinar is sponsored by Temple Emanu-El of New York. And I would like to thank their community and the members of the community for their support for our work. Many of you are also here because we are part of the Big Bold Jewish Climate Fest. I spoke a few weeks ago now about the impacts of climate change in Israel. It really is impacting us. The weather is changing, it's getting hotter. And if we don't do something about it soon, the chances are that Israel is going to be a pretty uninhabitable and miserable place to live. We want to be part of the Big Bold Jewish Climate Fest to make climate change a central part of our Jewish identity. You know, we just celebrated Tu B'Shvat. You can see here in Amir's screen, the almond trees are in blossom. Environmentalism isn't just for one day out of the year, it's every day out of the year. And we hope, especially those in America, will do what they can to support the Biden administration's work on climate change, because ultimately we need them to take the lead, and hopefully Israel will follow. Okay, before we get on with the show, just share a few house rules. Today's webinar is planned to go 90 minutes. We will inevitably go longer, but we'll make sure that we have a nice ending and at 90 minutes, and we'll just leave questions for the end. If you do have a question, please write it in the chat, and we'll be answering questions throughout, both in the Q&A box of Zoom and also in the chat. Alen and I will be answering questions in there. We will try not to interrupt our speakers too much. This webinar will be recorded, and it should be available hopefully in a few hours, if not definitely by tomorrow morning American time. If you enjoy this webinar, we invite you to support our work, to protect Israel's species, especially our birds. Our birding unit is BirdLife Israel, the partner for BirdLife International, which sort of shows the level of respect that our work to preserve our avifauna receives worldwide. You can make a tax deductible donation in the USA, in Canada, Israel, or the UK, and we'll have information at the end. And as I said, we've been doing this, we've been doing webinars like this every 2 weeks since the beginning of COVID. Our next one is actually going to be next week, where we talk about Israel's sharks and some of our work to protect Israel's marine habitats. And we'd love you to join us for that too. But anyway, without further ado, I'd like to pass over now to Alen Kacal, who is in Jerusalem at the Nili and David Jerusalem Bird Observatory, who is our hostess for today. Alen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show, or to the webinar. Welcome. Good morning if you are calling or joining us from the US, and good afternoon if you are in Europe or here in the Jerusalem area. And if you're even further east, good evening, and we look forward to a great time. Again, I want to say hi to the folks from Temple Emanu-El, from the Birding Co-op, and from all sorts of the different places that are joining us today. And we'd love to hear if there's any kids online. So send us in the chat because we want to talk to you guys as well. Lawrence, can you share the map?
Yep.
We are going to have people online today from several parts of Israel. Here in Jerusalem, Avner, Rinot, and Amir Balaban will be joining us. In Modiin, we will be hearing from Yonatan Meyrav. Up in the Beit Sha'an Valley or the Jordan Valley, we will be hearing from Nadav Israel, and down in Eilat from Noam Weiss. And you can see on the map where these are located, from the north, the south, and central parts of Israel. So we should have a nice wide range of stuff to show you. So without further ado, let's get you over to Amir Balaban, who is hanging out with some very special flowers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jerusalem. We're very, very happy to have you here. It's an amazing springy afternoon after a spell of rain, which was very much needed after a harsh, dry spell we had in Jerusalem. And we delayed our Zoom webinar because of this rainy weather, because we were expecting to show you lots of birds. But this is Tu B'Shvat, and because it's Tu B'Shvat, we have to share this beautiful almond tree that's behind me, and the JBO right now in Jerusalem at large is covered with these beautiful white flowers, white petaled flowers that if you can watch in the background are shining in the afternoon sunlight. And we don't have much snow nowadays in Jerusalem, but when you shake these trees, this is like snowflakes in Jerusalem. And I don't know if you've been watching, as I've been looking at the almond tree, lots of honeybees are coming over to collect pollen and pollinate these lovely trees. Actually, the almond tree, which is a symbol of Tu B'Shvat, is the first flowering tree. Oh, look at this bee coming over, just amazing. So it's the first tree that flowers in the middle of the Israeli winter. And it symbolizes that spring is coming. And we can already feel these warm days coming in. And here in the Jerusalem Bird Observatory, I don't know if it's the first time you're visiting the site, but it's our way of, look at these, this amazing Jerusalemite family coming over to watch the birds. They're going over to the bird hide to watch the birds in the Neiman Pond, that is one of the most important wetland sites in the center of town. We might have a chance to go and look at it. So now I'm going in. And I would meet our team. This is Alona, another National Service volunteer. And we're moving into our banding or ringing and a station where we monitor bird movement in the center of town. Now, Israel is a very unique country, and I don't know how many of you actually, many of us work in nature conservation all over Israel. And one of the big challenges is learning about our birds and their habits and their habitats so we can preserve them. With me this afternoon, we have Avner Rinot, which is one of our leading researchers, a very talented young man that has been monitoring our birds this afternoon. And if you do not know bird ringing is a very, very old method of checking out what type of birds use these habitats. The information that we have here on our computer enables us to follow these birds, learn about their biology and their needs. One of the first birds that I'm going to show you is one of Israel's most, I would say, cutest birds. And here I have with me this little warbler. This is our little graceful warbler, a very small and cute native bird that lives in Israel all year round, and it has the longest tail ever. And the name of this bird in Hebrew is Pashosh. Pashosh is also a nickname for cute kids. So if you have a cute child at home, or a grandson or a nephew that is very, very cute, you can call them Pashosh. And you understand why. This fan-tailed warbler, you can see it has a beautiful fan tail, is a very, very lively bird that lives in our shrubs and small bushes around the JBO. Thanks to climate change and the fact that Jerusalem is warming up, it has a relatively good chance to survive winter because it's an insect feeder. And in very harsh winters, they die out in Jerusalem. So climate change works for some organisms, but for other organisms, it's quite a challenge. We'll be talking about that maybe later on. I would like to introduce my fellow conservation people that are with me today. Alen, of course, the director of the Nili and David Bird Observatory in Avner. And this is Arik, the JBO dog. He's a very, very trusted helper. Lamakob, his place is under the table. We have Noam Weiss from Eilat, from the International Bird Station. We've just finished with this little bird. It has a little ring, and I'm going to release it. Okay, it has to feed before it's dark. We also have Nadav Yisraeli in Beit Shan Valley, one of our talented staff that will be spotting with a scope a lot of our northern wetland birds. And we hope to meet up with Yonatan Meyrav in the Modiin Hills, west of Jerusalem, east of Tel Aviv. And he'll be scouting for afternoon birds and maybe a mammal or two. That could be very, very exciting. Although we're all bird people, we love mammals and all taxa, plant life and all animals. Our job is to protect them. And yeah, I think that's it. We're going to be seeing some more birds. Alen, do we have some more time for another? We have time for another bird. Let's see what else has been caught this afternoon. Okay, the bird ringing program is based on a regular program where we put out special nets. And with these special nets, we trap the birds that use our habitat, like the almond trees and the Neiman Pond that I'm going to show you very soon. And the nets are numbered, so we know exactly which part of the JBO is used by every bird. This specific bird, contrary to the graceful warbler we saw before, is a seed eater. And you can see this very, very cone-like bill that is specialized for feeding on seeds. In order to preserve habitats for these birds, we need to identify the different productivity of each habitat and make sure that as Jerusalem develops, these habitats are preserved. This is what we call sustainable development. We are now sure that natural habitats are of great importance. They are what create sustainable cities, resilience. We need the natural habitats to retain rainwater and infiltrate them into the underground water storages. Climate is mitigated by these habitats. Where you have natural habitats, you have lower temperature in summer and high temperatures in winter. So these are very, very important aspects of conservation. We're not only conserving for birds, we're conserving for humanity. This is something very important to understand. And in the discussions we have with people who develop Israel, our job is to make sure that habitats are preserved not only for wildlife, but for us, for our future. This is very important. So this is a green finch. This is a beautiful male. It has a Jerusalem and Israeli ring. This is also a native bird. It will be with us all year round, okay? And look at this very, very beautiful bird, okay? Let's fix this cover. Okay. Okay, this is a greenfinch. It has a beautiful song. This male actually is beginning to sing on the cypress trees. Now, there are a lot of people who ask us, how can we help? Well, for example, I've just planted 2 beautiful almond trees for Daniel Niemann, our friend from New Jersey. And if you are interested in planting native trees in Jerusalem or in other sites that are managed by the SPNI, we can help you and we can cater for that. And by that, you are also assisting wildlife conservation in Israel. So this is a beautiful greenfinch, Yarkon in Hebrew. We have some Israelis taking part in this Zoom webinar, and it's fantastic to hear that we have people from Europe, North America, South Africa. Amazing, great. And we also have passers-by. Look at that. The JBO is public open land. Hi guys, where are you from? Israel. Yes, Seger, there's a lockdown. Go home, go home. Oh, they live less than 1,000 meters from here. That's okay. So everything's kosher. So I'm going to let this greenfinch go. Avner, what else? Oh, what a surprise. What a fantastic surprise. This bird was a contender for being Israel's national bird, but the English name was a bit of a problem. It's called Palestine Sunbird. So, you know, we like to argue about everything, also about our national bird. This Palestine Sunbird is originally an African bird, a bird that originates from Africa. And what's unique about Israel that we are located between 3 main continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. So the greenfinch is European, okay? The graceful warbler and this beautiful Palestine Sunbird, this is a female, okay? The male is iridescent black, green, and purple. We might get lucky and we're gonna catch one. This bird originates from Africa. So when you come to visit Israel, and I hope this spring you're going to get your shots and you can come back to Israel and visit us, you can meet birds from all continents. Even North America, we actually had a Wilson's phalarope, Israel's first Wilson's phalarope, this winter in Beit Shean Valley. So this is the nectarine, the Palestine Sunbird, and look at this elongated bill, okay? And it's adapted to feed on nectar from special flowers. So we have a few species here that we planted especially for this species, and it feeds also on spiders. So it has this very unique tweezer-like bill that specializes on collecting little itsy-bitsy spiders. So this is the Palestine Sunbird, and yes, the male is iridescent black. You can Google it, Palestine Sunbird. Truly a beautiful bird that every Israeli and visitor to Israel loves. Now that's the Palestine Sunbird. Profile, look at that cute bird. Oh, that's another local bird. So we're going to release the Palestine Sunbird back to nature. And, oh, this is a cheeky bird. Oh, this is a cheeky bird. In Hebrew, it's called Yargazi. And if you know a bit of Hebrew, Rogez means angry. And this is a little, sorry, I know it's a beak. Yeah. Sorry. My English is not perfect. You know, I'm an Israeli, so, you know, we get by with the English we learn in high school and on our trips abroad. So this is a great tit. And Israel is Israel is a Mediterranean country, and we do have woodland, but it's mainly desert. So we have limited numbers of woodland birds. So we have only 2 species of tits. Okay, in North America, you call them titmice, chickadees. In Northern Europe, they're tits. And these tits are very interesting birds. First of all, look at the bill of the beak. Sorry, beak. What's the difference between a bill and a beak? Not now. Alen says, leave it. Okay. So the beak of the oh my God, he's a mean one. Look at that. This is why it's called the Yargazi. He's so angry. This is actually yeah. Look at the male. It's a male. It has a full-on tie from the chest down to the belly. Females have a short tie, a thinner necktie. And look at the beautiful iridescent color, physical color on the cap. Okay. Now this beak is a multi-purpose beak. It's thin at the tip, but it's also very, very strong. It's thick in the base. So tits are omnivorous. Greenfinches are vegetarian. Graceful warblers are insectivorous. This is a very, very important thing. If you're new to birding and bird watching, always look at the beak. That's the first hint. The size is also important. This is small, a little bit smaller than the house sparrow. What a beautiful bird. And it's already singing here in Jerusalem. What's that? We have someone from Mongolia. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to release this great tit and let's see what the next bird is. Wow. So we've had birds from Africa. We've had birds from Europe. And this is another European bird. This is a very cute bird from Europe. And the name is a bit misleading. It's called the black cap. Now, black cap, you can see it has a brown cap. The reason is that this is a female black cap. And you know, we were talking about climate change and effects on bird populations. 20 years ago, when I was a kid in Jerusalem, we did not see any black caps in Jerusalem during winter time. Most of the population migrated south of the Sahara to Eastern Africa, to the savannas and forests of Kakamega and you know, subtropical forests in Africa. Apparently, because of climate change and actually desertification and also milder climates in the Middle East, many of these birds are now overwintering in Israel and around the Mediterranean. So we see that climate change is affecting population and their distribution. Again, this is another insectivorous bird. Look at this very elongated and sharp bill, specializing in insects. Okay. Alen will explain what the difference between a bill and a beak is. I think it's a bit way over my head. This is
they're basically used interchangeably by a lot of people. A bill is usually something that you would talk about for a large bird such as a duck. And a beak is usually something we would talk about with smaller birds, tend to be smaller and more delicate. But a lot of people interchange the two things around. Yeah.
There you have it. I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm satisfied. I hope you are.
In English, it's much easier. Everything is a macaw.
In Hebrew, you mean?
Sorry, it's much easier. It's just one word.
Yeah. So there you have it. And Avner mentioned here, this is very interesting. When we collect the birds from the nets, we keep them for a few minutes in these cotton bags. And this is a hint about this bird's favorite food. They feast now. They feast now on olives. And olives are one of the most important food sources in the Mediterranean woodland and habitats. So we plant a lot of olives on our site. These are very important trees for our woodland habitat. So off we go. We're going to release this bird. And Ellen, who are we moving to? Now, Nadav Yisraeli is one of our talented birders that is working on our northern conservation project. He's going to introduce himself shortly, but before we move to Nadav, we have two quizzes for you. I'm going to ask the first quiz, and the first one to answer correctly on our chat will receive one of these two prizes. The first one is a great card game for kids and adults that want to learn about common and special birds in Israel. And the second one, well, that could help your memory problems during the lockdown. And it's a match, quiz, and spin. And the first the first question is, give me an estimation of how many feathers does a bald eagle has on its body? A general number, doesn't have to be, don't start plucking a bald eagle, but give me an estimate. The first one that will guess correctly or know the answer for this will receive one of these lovely prizes for your kids, for your grandchildren. Write down and we'll check them out. We're going to move to Nadav now, and there's going to be another quiz later on, another international, because people from all over the world. So it's going to be different, levels of difficulty. And so
come to me.
Really? Hey, relax. Don't over.
Amir,
okay.
I'm taking over.
Nadav, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm just being. Hi, everybody. I'm in the Jordan Valley, and just now a flock of white pelicans is flying just overhead. So I'm going to try and show it to you. Wow, 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 wow. I'll be quiet. These are white pelicans, the largest and heaviest birds to migrate over the Sahara Desert, over Israel. They migrate from their breeding grounds around the Black Sea mainly, in Romania and in Greece as well. And they migrate over Israel, through Israel, and most of them are continuing to migrate south, crossing the Sahara Desert to the Sud marshes in Sudan. And just when you pass over to me, this small flock, these are maybe just 30 or 40 white pelicans. During migration season, we get around 50,000 white pelicans. All of the migrating population of white pelicans are migrating over Israel. And I'm so happy they came, really, because they may be thinking of landing here in this small fish pond I'm overlooking, so we might have a chance of a better look at them. But now you can see them flying very close to us. I can even hear their wing flaps. I'm not sure if you can. Wow. Okay, that was very exciting. So I'm gonna switch back to me. Hi, this is me, Nadav Israeli. I've been working for the SPNI, for the Birding Center for just over 15 years now. I'm working in the north of Israel, surveying, monitoring, and trying to protect bird species and their habitats. Mostly what I'm doing at the moment is working on the wetlands of Israel. We're losing Israel's wetlands. And I'm here now in the Bet Shean Valley. The mountains you see in the background are actually in Jordan, the Gilead Mountains in Jordan, to my east, and to the north. And the west, you can see the Gilboa Mountains, and the Bet Shean, the town of Bet Shean is just over there. And now I'm going to perform a trick. You see, this is my spotting scope, and I'm going to put my phone onto the lens, and now you can all see what I'm seeing with my scope, and watch some of the birds that are here at the moment. And we're now together. We're watching a nice flock of black storks. Mostly when we think about storks, especially here in this part of the world, we think about white storks. White storks migrate in huge numbers over Israel. About 500,000 white storks are passing Israel on migration, but also some about 60 to 70,000 black storks are migrating, usually a little bit after the white storks are passing, and some of them are staying here for the winter. Amir, oh, that's gray heron just landed amongst black stork, and Amir talked earlier about the iridescent green and purple color of the male sunbird. You can see the same colors here on the black storks, males and females alike. All the adult black storks look the same. But we can see one on the left here, which is brown, has no iridescent color. This is a young bird. This is a bird that hatched last year, talking about 2020. In the spring of 2020, and migrated together with the rest of the black storks to Israel at the age of 4 or 5 months. They're already migrating, flying together with their parents, with their population. And black storks breeds all over Europe, some even in Spain and France, Germany, mainly Eastern Germany, and east from that into Russia. And they don't breed in Israel. They migrate through Israel, and you can see their long legs. They are used to wade in shallow water and to catch fish and frogs. Well, they're not very good hunters. They're not after live fish mainly, but mainly they're feeding on dead or ill fish. It's a very important role in the environment to be they're like sanitarian. They take what's already dead or soon will be dead. And in winter, they spend their time. Wow, this is a lovely picture, really. The soft light at the end of the day. It's now close to 4 in the afternoon, and the soft light is coming from the west, just taking out the colors of these beautiful black storks. So they're spending their times in wetlands around Israel. Israel used to be, until about 100 years ago, used to be not many, but some wetlands in this area. If you've heard about the Hula Valley, the Hula wetland with the lake and the marshes, and even in this area, in the Jordan Valley, and in some other valleys in the north part of Israel, there used to be wetlands. These wetlands were mostly dried in the last century, and the water and the area is used for fish farming and agriculture. And now we're starting to, and even those fish farms are now drying. So we're facing now a crisis where migrating birds and breeding birds in Israel and used to spend time on migration or as stopover sites, or in winter in those wetlands or in the fish farms, now have fewer places, or much fewer places to stay in. And in the SPNINA, we're working together to try and find a solution to that. And the solution we're offering is to take some of these old fish ponds that are now being deserted, for commercial reasons and financial reasons, to take them and try and transform them into wild functioning habitats. It's like rewilding. That's a term it's being used in Europe and North America. So I'm trying to I'll try to show you some more birds we're seeing here, although if I'm sure you're with me and you don't want to see any, once you saw the beautiful black storks, then I can watch those forever. See how they're sunbathing in the warm sun here, of the Jordan Valley. Jordan Valley is one of the hottest places in Israel in summer. It gets here up to 50 degrees Celsius degrees. Not sure how much that in Fahrenheit, but it gets really hot here. And winter here is very mild. So usually these birds have a very nice time here. So we're now seeing the black storks and the gray heron. And I'm gonna switch the scope into the pond and watch with you together we'll take a minute. Yeah, the black-winged stilts. See, these are these long wading birds. They're waders, and they're called black-winged stilts. They breed. Some of them are breeding in Israel, and some are migrating. They are specialists in wading in shallow water and feeding on the insects and other life forms they find in the shallow water of wetlands. In Hebrew, they're called tmiron. Tamir means tall in Hebrew. This is a common red shank together with stilts. I'll try and show you another species I saw here earlier. Yeah, at the back, that's a green shank. You see the common red shank in the front. Straighten that a little bit. And in the back, you can see a green shank, another wader that is wintering in Israel. And not in big numbers, but they're one of the biggest waders of this family, which is breeding in Israel, and they're all at the moment they're all spending their time in fish farms because they have few other options. The natural habitats, the natural wetlands of Israel, most of them were dried out, and now the land is used for fish farming.
Nadav, if I can interrupt, it's very important to understand that the waders that you're observing now, at least the green shanks and the stilts, are all Arctic birds that are on holiday in Israel. And you know, when we talk about wildlife conservation, it's not a national business, it's an international business. It's of international concern. That means if we want to preserve Arctic birds, North American birds, we have to preserve Central and South American habitats. And if we want to preserve North European birds, we have to conserve Mediterranean and African habitats. This is why this webinar, which is an international webinar, is so important. We are dispersed all over the world, and suddenly we understand how connected we are. And as a species, we're connected. You know, we're challenged now by a South African COVID-19 and a variant and a British variant. We are one unit. This is something that is, it's something we should understand, and this international cooperation is critical. Back to you, Nadav.
I just want to, this is a glossy ibis here, another bird that is spending a lot of time in the shallow water, and you can see the long bill slightly curved, specially made to peak in the shallow water and in the mud, and take their food out of there. At the moment, this glossy ibis is actually preening. It's actually cleaning itself from parasites and other things that are interfering with his feathers. Preening and cleaning the feathers is a crucial job for the birds, because not sure if anyone answered Amir's question about how many feathers does a bald eagle have, but birds have a lot of feathers. And the feathers
we have a winner, Nadav.
We have a winner.
We have a winner, and
but what was the answer, Amir?
Okay, if you brought it up, our winner is Michelle Witznetzler, or something like that. And the number of feathers on a bald eagle is around 7,800. Well, you can say generally between 7,000 and 10,000 feathers. And someone actually checked and counted, presumably on a dead bird. And the record holder of the amount of feathers on a bird is the mute swan, with around 20,000 feathers on it. So you can imagine it takes a lot of time to take care of these feathers. And you can see this black stork actually maintaining the feathers on its body. Now it's taking care of the back coverts, and you have to take care of all the coverts actually, and all the wing feathers, because birds rely on feathers for their flight ability, and also to protect themselves from rain and the elements. A lot of the maintenance includes making sure every feather is covered with a special oil that's taken from a special oil gland above the tail. So a lot of times when you see a bird reaching for its tail and upper tail coverts, rump, they're actually collecting, squeezing this little oil gland and making sure it's wiped all over. And this is why a lot of times when you see wild waterfowl and birds, they're actually water resistant. You see the droplets fall on their feathers and slide off. So this is a very, very unique thing birds do a lot of times during the day, and in the afternoon more so than in the morning. When we have our mornings webinars, then we see birds feeding. Now we're seeing them resting with a full crop, taking care and maintaining their feathers. Nadav, back to you.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing about the white pelicans. We saw earlier white pelicans. I told you they migrate from the Black Sea area, the Danube Delta in Romania, most of them, but also in Greece. They migrate through Israel, and they will continue to migrate. They are continuing to their migration over the Sahara Desert, and they white pelicans eat only fish. So they were relying. They rely on the wetlands on the way from the Black Sea to Israel, because they need to feed and stock up with energy, with fat, before they cross the Sahara Desert. And if the natural habitats in Israel and on the way from Israel, from Romania to Israel, are not providing them with enough food, they simply cannot continue their migration over the Sahara Desert to Sudan, and will not survive the winter here, because winter here is too cold. Not enough fish survive winter here in Israel, and they have to get to Sudan to survive, for the population to survive the winter, and then they will migrate back to their breeding grounds in Romania, Greece, Turkey, and they can start a new breeding cycle and migrate again in the next fall. I want to try and show you a beautiful phenomenon which is happening at the moment.
Nadav?
Yeah?
We have a question from one of our viewers. Where do storks sleep?
Storks sleep mainly on trees. They sleep on trees. This way they are protected from predators like jackals, in some places even wolves. But most of them sleep on trees. They will fly to their sleeping trees later on. Oh, this is another nice flock of white pelicans here. If anyone missed the white pelicans before, now you have a chance seeing a flock of white pelicans in flight.
A few people have asked if this is the same species that they see in America, and of course this is a different species.
Yeah.
The American white pelican, and this is the great white pelican that's a European species.
European, and also there's an African resident population.
And Nadav, we have another question of why do some waders stand on one leg?
The short question is, I think you can even see it here. You see, even they not only stand on one leg, sometimes even storks do that, and they also hide their beaks. Birds are covered with feathers, and the only exposed skin areas are the legs and the base of their beaks. So to help thermoregulate their bodies, they try in cold days. They try.
Nadav.
Amir?
We have a special bird from Eilat, Noam Weiss, our man in the far south.
Thank you.
We'll get back to you. We were counting on you for more interest. Oh, look at that beautiful picture. You're the one and only, Nadav. You're amazing. I'd like to present Noam Weiss. He's the director of the Eilat Bird Observatory. And Noam is with one of Israel's most beautiful and colorful birds. Noam.
Thank you, Amir, and welcome to Eilat, capital of bird migration of Israel, Middle East, in the world maybe. You are looking and it's gone, but it will be back. It will be back in a second. You are looking at a little green bee-eater, and this is just an amazing gem of bird that is of nature that exists here in the south of Israel. Now, these beautiful birds are already experiencing migration, not themselves. They do not migrate, but they eat the most. They are feeding on insects that are already completely in spring mode, and we can see in our skies now thousands of dragonflies, of flies, and all kinds of bees that fly around. And these amazing birds are feeding on them. Well, they flew away, but it's a bit difficult to follow them because every time there is a bee around, they go snatch it and come back. I guess it's better, Amir, if you take the broadcast, and I will look for some more stuff here because these birds are just moving from side to side. But just another comment. I don't know how it is at home for you folks, and I heard you have a snowy owl in New York, but here it's completely springtime. We are having steppe eagles passing overhead in the morning.
Noam, please,
yeah?
Noam, please turn the camera so people can see you and meet you in person. The tree is lovely, but I think it's important that people meet the faces. Okay, and change your direction because we have the sun in our eyes. Noam, in a few words, show us the habitat around you, and not only that, we'd appreciate if you mention one or two conservation challenges that you are dealing with right now, you know, just so people can understand what are the main issues that SPNI and the Bird Center in Eilat are dealing with right now. You know, just in a few words so people understand. Oh, look at the beautiful landscape around you. Go ahead, Noam, we're listening.
Okay, so again, welcome to Eilat. So Eilat is all about bird migration. If you just imagine the map of continents, you will realize that birds just funnel up to our bottleneck of migration. And from here to the south, they have to cross the Sahara Desert. And now during springtime, they are going the other way, crossing 3,000 kilometers of Sahara Desert, arriving to Eilat. And this is their first stopover site where they can meet resources, food, water, and some time to rest. The challenges are great. We had wind farms planned, we had habitat destruction, we have all kinds of plans to make new habitats into hotels, into energy infrastructure. And this is an ongoing struggle all the time. Just behind me is, here is Iris, she's our technical team today. Behind me is the salt pond of Eilat. I'll take you to it. And here, just here, in about 5 to 10 years, gonna be a neighborhood. Lots of people are gonna live here. And this is a great challenge, how to make the coexist next to the neighborhood, build biological zones that will, buffer zones that will enable us to continue with our work and let the birds use this stopover site. Behind me right here, you can see the mountains of Jordan and some visitors that arrived here illegally because we are in a complete lockdown now.
Noam, I think Yonatan Meyrav is ready. Okay. Jonathan, you will be very happy if you keep on searching for some southern birds for us. More views of these desert gems. Yonatan Meyrav, who's our festival man in charge of all the tourism projects in Israel, is in his backyard. And this lucky man lives in one of the most beautiful sites in central Israel, in the Modiin Hills. Jonathan, over to you, and come on, what have you got in store for us? Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your conservation work beforehand.
All right, so hi everyone. It's a pleasure to see all these followers from all over the world. Like Amir said, I'm a director of tourism and international events. For international events is something that is on hold now. Modiin, well, is in central Israel between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. And the city is growing rapidly, but the hills around are beautiful and still support great biodiversity, great wildlife, birds, flora. And I only asked for you guys to cut over to me quickly because I'm walking around here. Let me show you. And these recent rains, nice rain. In the past week, and this rain has caused anemones to come out. To show you some of these beauties up close. This is one of the most beautiful flowers in Israel, and one that is very symbolic of winter moving into spring. Very beautiful flower. You can see it's red, and on the inside it has a nice white ring surrounding the inside of the flower. Ironically enough, the Latin name of this flower is Anemone coronarius, corona, which actually means crown. And that is named after this beautiful crown, white ring in the flower. You could see beautiful bird, I'm used to birds, beautiful flower. And this whole area around me here is just carpeted with these beautiful red flowers, which are now in their prime. So I'll just show you another nice one and we can move back to you guys. And like Noam said, here in Israel, February It's literally spring. Spring is on our door. Usually in North America, spring hits a bit later, April, May. Here, we are getting right into the heat of things. Birds are back on their breeding grounds very soon. Will begin to migrate. Very beautiful.
Jonathan, if I may add, as you wander around and bend over to film these beautiful flowers, one of the most important anemone pollinators are beetles that specialize in pollinating them as they use the closed flower as a nighttime roost. There's a species of beetle that in the evening climbs into the flower and waits for the petals to close. And as it closes and as it gets ready for its sleep, it actually makes a lot of mess and pollinates as it goes to sleep the flower. So this is a very important relationship between an insect and a flower. And this is a very unique to anemones. Noam, can you hear me? I see your...
Great, thank you. So I'll give you guys...
Yes.
Noam's signal is very weak. So we are now going to move on, Ellen, to who? Noam Weiss has something good for us. Okay, Noam, back to you.
Okay, if you can hear me. So we are now at the salt pond of Eilat, and we have a gray heron on the rocks.
It sounds like a drink.
Yes. So our gray heron is just having a rest, waiting for the night to come. And it's just the same like us. We are waiting for the real spring to come because our real role here is to supply birds food and shelter during their migration time. We are sitting on top of a rubbish dump that used to be a salt marsh in the past, was unfortunately became a rubbish dump. And then after tens of years, we rehabilitated this place into this beautiful bird sanctuary that you are all welcome to come and watch. The Society for Protection of Nature in Israel is doing a lot of community-based nature conservation. And I think a bird observatory is probably the top product, the top tool for this kind of conservation. It's not just for the birds. It's first of all for the birds. So we have to be excellent with habitats. This heron must have these rocks to rest safely. And then when it's a little bit hungry, it can go to the next lake and forage for the fish. And when it's ready, go on with its migration. We are like a giant hotel for these birds, and every bird has its own necessities, own needs for habitat, food, and it has to come on the right time when they arrive on migration. But this is not enough. Doing good for the birds is good, but we cannot protect nature ourselves. This is why a bird sanctuary is also a hub for culture, for environmental culture. So people come here, experience watching the birds from up close, experiencing a project of nature conservation, experiencing art, experiencing bird ringing in front of their eyes. They can see, ask, talk, even release the birds, and they can actually be guided and also play games here. So they have the full package of how to connect to nature. Why do we do that? We are not just here for entertainment. These people are our ambassadors. After visiting here and seeing these beautiful birds and getting inspired from the work we do, they take our word and spread it around the country. One of our visitors is the engineer of the sewage works. So he says, let's make the sewage works better for birds. So we have a project there. And the salt factory manager is also a friend of ours. His kids like to come here and release the birds from the ringing station. So it's the same thing. The salt ponds are an amazing place for birding because people care, because people mind.
Noam,
Yes.
if I can add a little bit about the gray heron, you know, we talked about how birds maintain their feathers in a meticulous way. And we talked about oil glands. And one of the most interesting things about herons is they use powder to maintain their feathers. And the powder is extracted from the special chest feathers you see that are hanging off this gray heron's chest. These are very long feathers that when they are broken with the aid of the bill, the heron's bill, they produce a very fine talcum powder-like substance that is spread all over the feathers. And you know, like talcum powder, it's excellent against water and humidity. So if you remember the days you use talcum powder on your children's butt or nephews or grandchildren's butt, it does the same extraordinary process on the heron's feather. Noam, I think we have something up north with Nadav. Am I correct, Nadav? What's the situation?
Not at the moment. I'll be with you in a few minutes.
Okay, so Noam, I have a bird, one of the last birds of the day. You search for another bird right now, okay? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm.
So the last bird of the day in Jerusalem is a very symbolic bird. We are now with this pretty common looking bird. This is a house sparrow. And I'm sure the North American viewers are now saying, it's a pest. Well, not in Israel and not in the old world, not in Europe, because this is one of our most interesting urban indicators, because sparrows in the old world are a native bird. They were introduced to North America by the British newcomers. They were homesick, so they decided to bring over a lot of Shakespeare's bird. They even renamed some of your birds in old world bird names, like your robin, which is basically a thrush and not a true robin. So you see, this is a female house sparrow, and you can see the cone-like bill that specializes on seeds. Oh, man, it's biting me. No, they're not pests, not in the old world, because they have their niche and they have adapted to urban areas. You know, a lot of birds are following humankind as we develop. The first bird that identified the positive effects of people were birds that live around humanoid caves. And as we moved on, or we were nomads, and to this day there are sparrows that follow nomads in the Sahara. It's the Sahara desert sparrow. And they feed on camel seeds they find in camel feces. Now the house sparrow followed us from the caves to our farms, and when we developed into urbanites, they became urban birds. And we can still find house sparrows.
Amir,
yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it looks like this bird might fly.
Go
soon,
ahead,
so
go ahead.
I'm barging in.
Go ahead.
I'm watching now an osprey.
Wow.
This is an osprey. You see, this is a raptor that is specialized in feeding fish, and it keeps looking up. Maybe there's a larger raptor overhead, and that's a tip for birders. Every time you see a bird looking up, do the same yourself, because sometimes they can give up the location of other birds. When I looked up now, I see, yes, there's a nice thermal of black kites mainly. But let's look at this osprey. Is here in the Jordan Valley, and ospreys feed on fish. Ospreys don't breed in Israel. They migrate. They're actually ospreys all over the world. It's the same species. They migrate from North Europe to Africa, and they migrate from North America to South America. looks like it's going to fly. It's feeling uncomfortable. You see the big talons on this bird, massive legs, massive fingers, massive talons. They feed on fish that they catch while diving, legs first into wetlands or into lakes, taking the fish out, grabbing it with its legs. They have very strong feet and talons, and this way the fish are not slipping out. And usually they take them when once they caught the fish, they take the fish back to a feeding table or to the post they use to look from, and so they take it back to this post, and they take the fish apart using this curved, very sharp bill they have. You see the osprey is moving its head from one side to the other to take another look from a different angle. Catching a fish in the water is not always an easy task, and they have to be very careful in what they're doing to get the fish. I want to show you another bird here. One of the gulls, of the wintering gulls we have in Israel. This is an Armenian gull, an adult Armenian gull. They migrate in they winter in tens of thousands of them in Israel. They don't breed in Israel. A lovely bird. You can see the characteristic yellow bill. Gulls are omnivorous, which means they eat basically everything. You can see them around garbage dumps. You can see them around fish. You can see them around fish farms, agricultural fields, almost everywhere. They feed on basically anything. We get wintering gulls from variety of habitats in Europe, and Israel is one of the best places to watch gulls in the winter because we get many different species of gulls here, including little gulls, Armenian gulls, black-headed, Mediterranean, Pallises, Baltic, Uglins, many more. Slender-billed gulls. I actually stopped here for another raptor, but this one is gone by now, so we'll have to do with the Armenian gull and the osprey. If you have any questions on the osprey or the gull, you can chat them, and maybe Alen or Amir will ask me, and I can.
Thanks, Nadav.
More about
always amazing birds from Beit Shan Valley. I'll just finish up with this little sparrow, female sparrow. It's been waiting enough. For people who are wondering, only trained people can actually work with birds in the hand. And so as I was saying, the sparrows are an important indicator for the health of urban habitats. So we are counting them. Yes, we are banding them. We are ringing them because the data is very important. And we can see that thanks to the JBO, the size of the population around the JBO is constant for the last 15, 20 years with ups and downs that basically illustrates the quality of the habitat. When it's a good spring, we have a lot of offsprings. When it's a very dry spring, we have less offsprings. So they're a very good indicator to the quality of our habitats. To the people wondering how we release the birds, we have this special window that I'm going to show you. This is our release window, and the birds are released into the wild through this special window, and you can see how it works. I will show you, and off it goes back to the wild. So the birds are unharmed in this process. So the people who were asking, is this safe for the birds? It has to be safe for the birds.
Amir, sorry, I'm barging in again, yeah.
Go ahead.
The bird I was looking for just came back. This is a common buzzard, a nice medium-sized raptor who, again, winters in Israel what happened? In nice numbers, a couple of thousands of these lovely raptors are spending the winter here with us. They don't breed in Israel. In Hebrew, this bird is called akav. Akav means to watch or to walk in the footsteps. So you can see how this bird is actually watching. This raptor is, they like to stand, to perch on high posts or at this situation, it's a power line. And actually you can see that we're seeing a conflict at the moment. We have a huge conflict in Israel with power lines and raptors. Usually it's not a hawk, it's a buzzard, but actually if you're from North America, so your red-tailed hawk is actually a buzzard too. And it's the same genus, it's Buteo. Anyway, so power lines and power pylons in Israel have a huge conflict with raptors, usually the largest raptors that can actually connect the minus and the plus lines and actually get electrocuted. Amir might add some more because he's been really pissed about series of electrocutions of Bonelli's eagles in Israel in the past year. Bonelli's eagles are critically endangered in Israel. They're resident raptors. They breed here, and only in the last year we lost maybe 8. Am I correct, Amir? 8 Bonelli's eagle to electrocutions.
Yes. We have today. I got a picture of, I think, the 9th. I hope it's not the 9th juvenile Bonelli's eagle, and it's a tragic conflict between development, energy, and an endangered raptor. Here you see a smaller raptor that usually manages well with these power lines. As a matter of fact, you can see an amazing feature these buteos, these hawks have, buzzards have, when the lines are bobbing up and down. You can see how the head is gyroscopically fixed to one position, enabling the buzzard to see its prey with its very fine eyesight. And you can see it's also baiting. Baiting is a movement when the bird has to assess the exact distance between its position and the prey. It can actually fix its head in such a position, it can actually determine the exact distance. So this is an amazing feature, and it's lovely to watch. Nadav is such a professional scoper and digiscoping expert that it's amazing to see these features. Not only that, you can see the very prominent eye stripe that actually camouflages the bird's eyes in such a way that if a rodent or a potential prey sees the buzzard, he's never sure is the buzzard looking at it or not. So this is amazing, and you can see the powerful talons. Everything is really, really very well visible on this individual. So yes, we have a big problem with the electricity industry in Israel. We are
we're trying to work it out. Really
trying to work it out, but we are hoping that we do not break our cooperation with the electricity board, because at the moment, the damage that's being done by the energy industry in Israel is growing in such a rate that we really have a problem in this cooperation. Not only power lines and electrocution on poles, we also have a big problem with wind turbines. A country that sustains so many soaring birds and migratory soaring birds, wind turbines are a big, big potential damage for these migrants and local birds. So we are now doing a lot of conservation work concerning this industry. Not always successful. There's a big, huge new wind turbine farm in the northern Golan Heights. Oh, he just turned. Look at that. Beautiful. This afternoon sunlight is just majestic. You know, we usually do our Zoom webinars in the morning, and as we advance, the light gets worse. Here, the light gets better. And, you know, if you're a bird photographer or a wildlife photographer, Israel is a fantastic place to visit. And these golden hours, the early morning, and especially the afternoon when the sun penetrates in a diagonal angle to the atmosphere, the warm colors are fantastic. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Thanks, Nadav. I have one more quiz for you. And this is another international bird quiz. Which is the smallest bird on Earth? How much does it weigh? And if you guess correctly, you will be the proud owner of one of these beautiful card games that teaches you about Israeli nature and also takes care of your memory. It's very important. And it's a great... Jane? Hummingbird, yes, but which species of... Jane Crawford says bee hummingbird, correct. 2 grams, 5 ounces. You're a proud winner of one of these. Send your address and you're going to get it in the mail, hopefully. Cross your fingers. So, do we have any more? Lawrence might have, as we speak, I'm going to take you on a very short trip, Arik Tisher.
While you do that, I'm just highlighting the screen.
Hold on. Amir, before you start going off, I want to do a few questions before you run around, but we don't have to end in 12 minutes, but I do want to have an ending for those who need to leave. So I guess there have been a few questions and themes which have come up throughout the presentation. And I'd just like to thank Amir, Alen, Nadav, Yonatan, Avner, and Iris, who have all been on the technical side of this, showing us all the birds. So thank you very much for sharing this with people around the world. As I said at the beginning, we are not for profit. So if you have enjoyed this and you love birds and you love Israel, please consider supporting our work to protect Israel's birds. You can do so by going to www.natureisrael.org, and you'll see a donate now button in the on the right hand side in the top right hand corner. So we really appreciate that. So Amir, I have a few questions for you before then we go back continue with the live show. When is the best time of year to come and see Israel's birds?
Come again, Noam. I didn't hear that, Lawrence.
When's the best time to come to Israel to see the birds?
Well, as we speak, I think Noam has a beautiful green shank feeding in one of the ponds, and I will answer this as you can view the green shank. Israel basically is good for birding all year round. Saying that, there are 2 seasons where I think that visiting naturalists and birders will find Israel extreme.
Oh, he's gone. Amir has gone. Perfect. Alen, do you want to come in and take over, or Yonatan?
We usually hold a hula bird festival, which is fantastic.
Oh no, Amir, go back. We cut out for like a minute.
I said fall, autumn. From mid-October to mid-November is an ideal time to visit Israel, to watch all the migratory birds coming to overwinter in Israel. We usually hold a very big hula festival in the north of Israel, and also a lot of raptors come to Israel to overwinter. So you can view some of the magnificent eagles, like the greater spotted eagle and imperial eagles, eastern imperial eagles that come and overwinter with us. And of course, springtime. You can imagine millions of birds flying from Africa to Europe using Israel as a stopover site, and this is an amazing site to view. All of Israel is fantastic. Usually the desert is green, so from mid-March to mid-April, it's a birding bonanza. Watching birds in the desert, in the Mediterranean areas, in our coastal wetlands, and in the northern valleys. It's just, you know, beautiful. The Mediterranean habitats are so beautiful in springtime, and the amount of birds is usually tantalizing. So what we're watching now, Noam, can you tell us a little bit about this beautiful plover?
Yes, this is the spur-wing lapwing, and it's one of the African birds that also show up in Israel. It's a pretty nasty bird to other birds around it. It likes to scream and shout, and also sometimes use its spurs to attack other birds. But we are not judging birds. We love them all. There was also a chance to declare it once the bird of Israel, but gladly, I think someone else was chosen. This bird became urbanized. It used to be mostly in natural habitats, but slowly we start seeing it on lawns inside cities, eating whatever is there, just eating everything. And just forget the birds and look at our view. Look at Eilat, how beautiful it is. You can see it by shadow. And this is the Eilat Bird Sanctuary.
Fantastic, Noam. Thanks for the spurring plover. And you know, it's a bird that is actually armed with a special little sword-like protrusion in its carpal joint, and as it dives on its on its potential enemies, it can actually hurt its predator. And if you get very close to a spur-winged plover nest, you can actually get hurt from this little barb at the carpal joint. Do we have any more questions, Lawrence?
Yes, I have questions. Amir, how do we visit? How can people visit you and in Jerusalem and Noam in Eilat?
Well, both of the sites and many of the birding sites in Israel are easily Googled. And if you put them on Google Maps, you'll just get directions or ways. The Eilat Bird Observatory and the Jerusalem Bird Observatory that are managed by SPNI, public open spaces. Especially during the day, you can just wander in, and it's an ideological point of view that we make sure that birding and bird sites and nature is fully accessible to people. Saying that, it's very important to understand that the way we maintain these sites is by guiding services. So if you are interested in guiding services, both of the sites supply a lot of programs. And in this way, we can actually sustain not only the sites, but also our staff, which are usually all young trainees or students. And some are also retired folks that are volunteering and helping out in the work. So if you are coming over to Israel and you would like to volunteer and you have some experience, we're always looking for volunteers. It's great to have you with us. If you know Hebrew, it's fantastic. If not, if you know Yiddish, it's also important. We have a lot of Haredik visitors here. So yeah, this is the idea. So we are fully accessible in the internet also. We have a great website where you can get a lot of information. So do put your address in, and Facebook is a great way to get information. We're all over. Any more questions, Lawrence?
Yeah, what's the best bird guide to get? What's the best Israeli bird guide for Israel's birds?
I think the Collins guide of Birds of Europe and the Middle East is fantastic. There's a printed edition, and you can also download an app, which is very, very useful. It has all the bird calls. So, you know, this is also a very important aspect of birding. Yeah, any more questions?
I have a question which I will answer myself. Yes, we will have this webinar made. This is being recorded. It will be available on Facebook right now. You can rewatch the recording from the beginning on our Facebook page. Just search for Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel, and you'll find us. You can watch all the way from the beginning, probably right now, and also be on YouTube. And as I said, we do this every couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll do more live birding again, probably at Pesach. So stay in touch with us. We have a regular newsletter which tells you all these things.
Before finishing, I would like to give you the ending here from the Jordan Valley. Sunset is almost happening here. Over the northern Samaria hills and the Gilboa mountains. I'm looking west at the moment, and I'm going to turn slowly through the south and to the east, overlooking the Gilead Mountains in Jordan. And just overhead now, there are clusters of thousands of black kites, very up high at the moment. I hope you can see them. They look like mosquitoes up in the air, but they're just over my head now. Thousands of black kites are flocking together, and within half an hour or an hour, they will all come down to roost on the date palm trees just over here. So that's what this is what I want to end with, this lovely webinar, and I want to thank you for joining us and for giving me the chance to show you some of the wonderful birds in northern Israel.
Nadav, thanks very much. You're the one and only. You're the best Zoom presenter I've ever met. Thanks very much for beautiful birds and beautiful presentation. And yeah, I think we're about to wrap things up, right, Ellen?
Yes, thanks Amir, Noam, Nadav, Jonathan. Amazing as usual. Every time we do this, there are new birds to be seen, and we still haven't seen them all. So we still have to do more Zooms, and you are all invited. We do some in Hebrew. We also do some in English. And the best way to keep track of us is either to send us an email or to get on Facebook and become our friend. You can either join BirdLife Israel or the Nili and David Jerusalem Bird Observatory, or better yet, both. And we will keep updating the site as to when and where there are new lectures or webinars in the future. But ultimately, we hope to stop having to do these because you're here in person with us. So everybody stay healthy, get your vaccines when you can, and we see you here in Israel as soon as we can. All the best.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to the Big Bold Jewish Climate Fest for letting us be part of your festival. Thank you to everyone who joined. Thank you to Temple Emanu-El in New York. Thank you everyone, especially those who have donated so far. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we hope for the people who are here the first time, this is not the last time you're with us, and you'll stick with us. We'll be back next week on Sunday, 1 p.m. Not so early in the morning, 8 p.m. Israel time, 1 p.m. In New York for a lecture about Israel's sharks. So we hope you'll join us for that. If you're specifically interested in birding, actually, what am I talking about? Amir, you're doing one in about 3 weeks' time. You'll be back in 3 weeks' time to talk about green roofs. So
that's nice. Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's booked in, Amir. Don't play naive with me. I booked you in. And just thank you so much, everyone. It's been great. Amazing. Thank you. Everyone stay safe. You know, and we have more of these webinars recorded. So if you've enjoyed this and want to go back in time, you can see what we've done in the past. They're all on our website, www.natureisrael.org. I'll say that again a bit more slowly, www.natureisrael.org. And we hope to see some of you will visit us here in Israel by the end of the year, please God. So on that note, thank you very much, everyone, and good night, and God bless. Lehidraot.
Bye-bye, shalom.